हरि ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गाय नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। शङ्करं परमानन्दं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं यतीश्वरम् भाष्यभ्रान्तिहरं वन्दे शुद्धज्ञानैकबोधकम्। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। We'll begin with the Shanti mantra. Om वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्य माणिस्तः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनादितेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम। We shall chant the two mantras of third chapter in first section. कोयम आत्मेति वयम उपास्महे कतरस्य आत्मा येन वा पश्यति येन वा शृणोति येन वा गन्धान् आधिकृति येन वा वाचं व्याकरोति येन वा स्वादु च विजानाति. यदेतद् हृदयं मनश्चैतत् संज्ञानम् आज्ञानं विज्ञानं प्रज्ञानं मेधा दृष्टिः धृतिः मतिः मनीषा ज्योतिः स्मृतिः संकल्पः क्रतुः असुः कामः वश इति सर्वाणि एव एतानि प्रज्ञानस्य नामधेयानि भवन्ति. So in this Aitareya Upanishad, in the first chapter, the teacher reveals the nature of that supreme Atma and how from that Atma alone everything has come into manifestation. So everything is Atma and Atma alone. One has to realize this Atma, otherwise one continues in this samsara. So in the second chapter, the birth and rebirth of the jiva was pointed out to develop vairagya in us, and also how Vamadeva Rishi, he recognized his own self while being in the mother's womb and became free of all the shackles of bondage. Now, in this third chapter, the teacher again gives the essence of the teachings of all the Upanishads. So it begins with a question. So many seekers and mumukshus, they ask each other that what is this Atma? Koyam Atma iti vayam upasmahe. What is this Atma which we worship? Which one is this Atma? Is it that by which we see, that by which we hear, that by which we smell, that by which we speak, that by which we taste the different tastes? So they inquire. With the help of the Shastras and with the guidance of the teacher, we have to inquire and recognize ourself. We have this faculty called the buddhi. We also have the mind, the chitta, the memory, the ahankar, the ego. We have the senses, the karmendriyas, jnanendriyas. We have the pancha pranas. So these are the different faculties which we have. And out of them, the buddhi is very important, because buddhi has got the capacity to comprehend that Atma. When the buddhi becomes pure, and when the buddhi thinks in the direction of the teachings of the Shastras, it comes to understand what is that Atma. The buddhi acts like a mirror in which, as though the reflection of that Atma gets presented. Just as this vast space, the space is so vast, infinite. And if we have a mirror, even in that mirror, the space gets reflected. But the reflection is so subtle, it is not easily comprehended. But there is a reflection of space in that mirror. Similarly, when the mind becomes, or the intellect becomes extremely pure and clear, then in that intellect, there is that knowledge of the self happens, knowledge of the Brahma happens. That is called that Neyam Brahma. The known Brahma is known. And once we know this Brahma, then we have to meditate and gain abidance in that Brahma, in that self. So here the seekers, they come together and they discuss among themselves, who is this Atma? What is this Atma? Which one is this Atma? There is only that one Atma. All these other things like mind, the intellect, the senses, they are all instruments of the Atma. They themselves are not the Atma. Then further, when they inquire, they come to understand that yadetad hridayam manascha, that which is the hriday, the heart. Heart means the very core, means that buddhi. Buddhi, which has got the capacity to understand, to know. Buddhi is the subtlest instrument. See, when the creation happens, the first one to be born is Hiranyagarbha. So Hiranyagarbha has the pranas, the prana. Hiranyagarbha has samashti ahankar, samashti buddhi, samashti mana. So the buddhi is a very subtle equipment which has got the capacity to know. Just like our eyes have the capacity to see form, eyes do not have the capacity to know. It just reveals the form. The ears just reveals the sound. So this sensation reaches the mind. Mind thinks about it, but finally the understanding happens with the help of the buddhi. So buddhi plays a very important role. So buddhi is indicated here as hridayam, the very heart. And buddhi itself expresses as mind. Manascha etat. Mind is a thinking equipment. With the help of the mind, we evaluate, we think. And after thinking, we come to an understanding. That understanding is the buddhi. That thinking is the mind. And in the mind itself, there are various types of expressions like samjnanam, ajnanam, vijnanam, prajnanam, Medha, Drishtihi, Dhritihi, Matihi, Manisha, Jyoti, Smriti, Sankalpa, Kratu, Asu, Kamo, Vasha, Iti. All these are various expressions of the mind or the antakarana. The inner equipment expresses in this variety of ways. So, Santjnanam. Santjnanam is sentiency. The mind becomes sentient. It's called Santjnanam. Then Ajnanam, giving Ajna, command, rulership. Then Vijnanam. Vijnanam is secular knowledge, knowledge of science, arts. That also is known by us. When we observe this world, we gain the knowledge of what we observe. Like if we observe through our senses, we come to know how it appears, what is its color, what is the taste, what is the sound, what is the smell. So all this we come to know through our senses. Then the mind further contemplates, understands the subtler aspect of that object. The more and more we contemplate, the more we understand about that object. That's how the science progresses, by studying in more and more detail. They keep on splitting, they keep on analyzing, trying to find out what is there inside, and they come to know more and more secret about that object. So that is called Vijnanam. Then there is Pragnanam, means presence of mind. Presence of mind is also very important. That various situations comes in our life, and we should be alert and should be able to understand the situation instantly, quickly. Then we can respond to that situation accordingly. If we take time to understand, then our response will be late, and that may not give us good results. Sometimes it can lead to danger also. So the response, instant response is required. See, even while driving, suddenly someone comes in between, so we have to apply the brakes. So one should have that quick response. Within seconds, we should be able to understand and judge the situation and respond. So that ability to understand the situation, have that presence of mind, is called Pragnanam. It is also an expression of the Antakarana. Then Medha. Medha is that ability to understand the text which we study, we read, to grasp the main theme of that text. See, sometimes we keep on studying but without knowing what is the essence. Like people study the whole Gita, but if you ask them what is the sar, then they talk something else only as sar of Gita. क्या हमने क्या लाया है और kya khoya hai, no. That is not the sar. We should be able to understand what is the exact teaching of Bhagavad Gita. Or when we study the Upanishad, we should be able to summarize and convey what is the essence which is taught here. See, some people are expert in elaborating a subject, but we should be able to give the concise, the essence of it also. Hmm. So it is called medha. Then drishti is sense perception. We perceive the world through our senses, and that is understood by the mind. See, like we hear the sound is outside in the world, and we recognize that sound. How do we recognize that sound? What is the mechanism? The sound is the characteristic of space, and the same space go to become our sense of hearing. The sense of hearing is made up of space. So, in that sense of hearing, the same sound which is there gets replicated. And this sense of hearing is connected to our mind. So, the information goes to the mind, and the mind understands. It is then passed to the intellect. Intellect gains that complete knowledge about it. So it's a beautiful mechanism. For example, we check the temperature. How we check our own temperature. Sometimes we feel a little feverish. So we want to know exactly what is our temperature of our body, whether it is normal or has it risen. So what do we do? We can just touch our body, but we may not be able to tell accurately. So we use a thermometer which has got mercury in it, and that mercury gets affected by the temperature. So a thin tube is there, capillary is there, in which the mercury is there. So when the mercury heats up, when we touch that mercury or keep it in our mouth or somewhere, the mercury heats up and slowly it rises and it stops there. Then from that we come to know the mercury also gains the same temperature as our body, but it is calibrated, so we come to know what is the temperature of the mercury. And after knowing the temperature of mercury, we say my temperature is also same. Similarly, a sound is there outside, so similar sound gets created in our mind, in our organ of hearing, and that is how we understand sound. Same is with taste, with touch, with sight. So our senses are most fascinating equipments. They are made up of the same five elements. So the characteristics of those five elements gets reflected in these five organs of perception. And since they are connected to the mind comes to know about it. So we know about Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha in this way. So this perception comes, it's that image or that pratyay comes in our mind. So that is called drishti. Then dhriti. Dhriti means fortitude. That ability to move on even when we are extremely tired. It's called dhriti, dhairya. That is also an ability of the antakarana. Then mati. Mati is mananam, ability to think based on the information which we have. So whatever information we get from the world or from our shastras or from the pravachan, we keep on mulling over that information and which gives rise to fresh understanding. So that is called mananam. That mananam is very important. See, we do shravanam, and just to repeat what you have heard is just shravanam. Sometimes we take down notes and we might just repeat what we have written. That is just shravan. But when we contemplate and understand, then what we have understood we may express in our own language. We may express giving our own examples. That means we have contemplated and understood what is conveyed. So that ability to contemplate is called mananam. It's called matihi. And then manisha. Manisha is to have control over our thinking, to have that mastery over our own mind. We should be able to think on a particular topic systematically, or we are able to just stop thinking and just let the mind just relax. So this is a great ability which generally people they don't have. Because whatever thoughts come in our mind, we keep on thinking about that. Now we have to decide, okay, let me think on this shloka. Then you keep thinking about on that shloka itself and try to understand what it is. So a systematic, rational thinking, control over your thinking, control over your mind, that is called manisha. So that manisha is very important. Then jyoti, the jyoti is a mental suffering because of some disease or because of some problem in the mind. Sometimes our mind start giving a lot of sorrow to us. Some pain, some fear, some sorrow, some guilt, some confusion, some delusion, some imagination. The mind gives us anxiety. That is called jyoti. See, everything has got a name. In Sanskrit, we have names for all different types of the expressions of mind. So jyoti it is called. Then smriti is smaranam, to remember exactly as we have experienced before. without adding masala to what we have experienced. That's called smaranam. Sometimes people remember, but they add some masala of their own, which was not really what had happened. So they get mixed up. Their memories are not pure. Their memories are not what you call reliable. Therefore, in the court of law also, they keep then, if there is a witness who tells, oh, I remember such thing happened, then they do cross-examination of that witness. And they come to know that half the thing he is just imagining and lying. So memory is also very important to remember as we have experienced, as we have known. So even meditation is like a memory only. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi calls it memory smriti, tasya smriti tatta dridheva nishtha. So when we do Shravan Manan, we gain that knowledge. So that knowledge we have to bring to our mind, we have to remember and gain abidance in it. After listening to Bhagavad Gita also, Arjuna tells Bhagwan that Nashto moha smritil labdha tvat prasadat mayachyuta, that all my delusion has gone and I have gained this memory of my own self. So that memory is also indicated here. Then sankalpa, a decision, sankalpa, a decision about what we have to do. Shukla Krishnadi Bhavena Sankalpanam Rupadhinam. Sankalpa of a form, a color, an object. Decision to do or not to do, or to do otherwise. So that is the sankalpa. Then kratuhu adhyavasaya. Adhyavasaya. Again, this adhyavasaya is actually form decision. See, in the beginning, in the mind, that sankalpa vikalpa is there, to do or not to do this or do that. That is the sankalpa vikalpa. The stage of indecision. And when you decide, then it is called adhyavasaya. It is called kratu. So kratuhu, like we go shopping, we see different types of dress, and we like all three of them, but we have to buy only one. So we keep evaluating, seeing its color, its texture, its quality. That's called sankalpa. Then finally we decide to buy one. That is called adhyavasaya, a decision, kratu. Then asuhu pranadi jivana kriya nimitta vrittihi. So the activity to keep us alive, like breathing, circulation, digestion, all these activities of the pranas which happen, is called asu, breathing, etc. Then kama is desire. Asannihita vishaya akamsha trishna, desire of obtaining those objects which are not there with us. It's called desire. I want this. Desire to obtain an object, a thirst. I want. That's called kamaha. Then vashaha. Vasha, stri vetikaradi abhilashaha. a desire to be with a woman, for a man, and for a woman to be with a man. Yeah? Stri Sansargadi, what you call Stri Vetikaradi Abhilashaha. That desire to be with some opposite gender, that is called Vasha. All this, all that we have discussed, all these are different expressions of the Antakarana only. Iti evam adya Antakarana vrittayah. All of them are Antakarana vrittis. They are all different types of knowledge only. Therefore, प्रज्ञप्ति मात्रस्य उपलब्धुः उपलब्ध्यर्थत्वात् शुद्ध प्रज्ञान रूपस्य ब्रह्मणः उपाधिभूताः. All these are the expressions of our antakarana for the sake of knowledge or for the sake of knowing, for the sake of this knower. The knower knows through all these expressions. The variety of things we know, the knower knows through all these various expressions. So they are the various expressions which are known. Therefore, all of them are the expressions of one prajnapti, Shuddha Prajnana Rupasya Brahmanaha Upadi Bhutaha. All of them are like upadis of that Shuddha Brahma, which is of the nature of knowledge. All these are expression of that pure knowledge, which is Brahma. So, tad upari janita guna nama deyani bhavanti sadnyanadinam. So all of them are names of that one knowledge, one prajna of that one Brahma. So just as, let us take the example of gold. So gold is called gold. What other name is there for gold? Gold is called gold only. But when you make different ornaments, the necklace, the earring, the nose ring, the anklets, the various types of other ornaments, they have different names. But what are these different names? Whose names are they? They are all different names of gold. And all these ornaments are the upadhis of gold, different expressions of gold. Similarly, all that we know in our antakarana, sadjnanam, ajnanam, etc., are all expressions of one prajnana, one knowledge. Sarvani eva etani prajnanasya namadheyani bhavanti na swataha sakshat. They are all names of that one prajna. They don't have any independent existence. They are just different expression. Just like this pot. What is this pot? It is just a name of clay. It is another name of clay. Clay has many names. So this is one name of clay. It is called pot. Why it is called pot? Because of a particular shape. It is called pot. But what is the essence of this pot? It is clay only. When you smell it, when you taste it, when you touch it, what are you touching? Clay. Similarly, like clay, there is one Pragnanam. That Jnanam Brahma is one. That Jnanam Brahma alone expresses in that Antakarana in various ways. As Sadjnanam, Ajnanam, Vijnanam, Prajnanam, Medha, Drishtihi, Dhritihi, Matihi, Manisha, Jyotihi. What are they? They are different names of that one Prajnanam. But why different name? Because they have different expressions. They have different, as though they have different forms. Therefore, they are named differently. Just like ink. We go to the market, we buy ink. Nowadays, nobody buys ink. In the good old days, we used to buy ink. Different companies used to be there, who used to make nice ink. I think Camlin or something. Blue ink. And it will come in a bottle. So what is it? Ink. Then we have the fountain pen. We unscrew it and pour that ink with some special instrument and all. We just pour that ink in that fountain pen and then again screw the nib. So what is there in that pen? Ink. Then we just scribble on the paper. All white paper turns blue. There are blue scribbles on the paper. So what is that? It is ink. Then we make a particular shape. What is that? We call it A. Then we make another shape. We call it B. We make another shape. We call it C. But what is this A, B, C, D, E? They are different names of ink. Why not call everything ink? No, then our vyavhar will not happen. So in order to help in our vyavhar, we focus on the shape and give different names to those shapes. But if we think from the standpoint of the Swarupa, then all the shapes are of that one ink, and all the different names, A, B, C, D, those sentences, those words, those paragraphs, they are all different names of ink. Similarly, in our mind, there are different thoughts, different understanding, Vijnanam, Pragnanam, Medha, Drishtihi, and all. What are they? They are different shapes of that Pragnanam. And because of their different as though shapes, they are given different names. But they are all expressions of that one Pragnanam. So this is very important. Prajnanasya namadheyani bhavanti. All of them are names of one Prajnanam. See that Supreme Brahma, it is indicated with many characteristics like Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Anandam. In Chandogya Upanishad, that Brahma was indicated as Satyam, as Sat, as existence, where the teacher tells the student that Sadeva Samyedamagrasi, Ekameva Advitiyam, that all this world was only Sat in the beginning, existence alone. that existence alone expresses as Satyam and Asatyam. Existence alone expresses as Satyam. Satyam means changeless existence. And Asatyam means changing existence. This world is expression of that Sat. But how does it express? As changing existence. World is existing, but constantly changing. And in this world, that Sat is a substratum which is hidden there. It is changeless existence. Also, I, the seer of this world, my body, my mind, my intellect, my senses are all changing existence. They're constantly changing. But I, the Kshetrajna, am changeless existence. So one Sat alone expresses as Satyam and Asatyam. In the same way, one Jnanam expresses as variety of Jnanam. Again, one Anandam, that one Anandam Brahma, expresses as variety of rasas, variety of happiness. The Upanishad calls it rasovesa. It is of the nature of rasa, but it expresses in different ways in the world. As Shanta rasa, as Madhurya rasa, as Raudra rasa, as Bhivatsa rasa, as Bhayanaka rasa, as Hasya rasa, as Veera rasa. Different rasas are there. But all of them are expression of one rasa only. Like sugar. When you place that sugar on your tongue, what do you experience? Sweetness. That one sugar itself is put into variety of different dishes, items, and so many different variety of sweets are made. On Diwali, on these special occasions, when you go to the shop, you will find thousands of varieties of sweets. What are they? They are all different names of sugar. Sugar is like that Brahma. Sugar is like Pragnanam. And then all the jalebi, laddu, kaju katli, and all those things. Barfi, rasamalai, gulab jamun. They are all different names of one sugar. Similarly, that Brahma which is Pragnanam. Pragnanam is Jnanamatra. Knowledge per se. That knowledge, when expresses, it expresses in different ways. See, like light. Knowledge is is uh, is uh, is compared to light. We say light of knowledge, prakasha. See, this prakash is so strange. At night, when we look up on Amavasya night, when we look up into the sky, we see everything dark. Only distant stars we can see. If the sky is clear, we can see some distant stars. Otherwise, the whole space, Akash, is dark. Why is the Akash dark? Because not because there is absence of light, but because there is absence of any object there. When the moon is there in the sky, then the sun's light gets reflected on the moon and you can see the bright moon. Why? Because that moon expresses the light of the sun. But if that moon is not there, then the light of the sun, though it is there, it doesn't get expressed. So it is pure light. And on the moon, it expresses in a particular way. Full moon, it expresses with all glory. Half moon, it expresses in half glory. Similarly, that Brahma or that Atma is Jnana Swarupa. Pragnanam, it's called Pragnanam. And that Pragnanam expresses in the mind. Mind is like the moon. It expresses in the mind, in the antakarana, and in all the vrittis of the mind. So, mind and all the vrittis of the mind are expressions of that one Pragnanam. Okay? If this is understood, the Upanishad goes one step further and says that everything, not only this mind and intellect, but everything is expressions of one Pragnanam. All beings are expressions of one Pragnanam. Not only the beings, but their bodies, their mind, their intellect, the Pancha Mahabhut, everything is expression of one Pragnanam. And that Pragnanam is Brahma. That is said now in the next mantra. Let us chant. Esha Brahma, Esha Indraha, Esha Prajapatihi, Ete Sarve Devaha, Imani cha Panchamahabhutani, Prithvi, Vayu, Akasha, Apaha, Jyotinshi, Ittetani Imani cha Shudra, Mishrani Bijani, Itarani cha अंडजानि च जारुजानि च श्वेदजानि च उद्भिजानि च अश्वा गावः पुरुषाः हस्तिनो यत्किञ्चित् इदं प्राणी जङ्गमं च पतत्रि च यच्च स्थावरं सर्वं तत् प्रज्ञानेत्रम् प्रज्ञाने प्रतिष्ठितम् प्रज्ञा नेत्रो लोकः प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता प्रज्ञानं ब्रह्म प्रज्ञानं ब्रह्म. This is one of the Mahavakya. See, we have 4 representative Mahavakyas from 4 different Vedas. So, Pragnanam Brahma, which is found here in Aitareya Upanishad, Aitareya Upanishad is from Rig Veda. Then we have another Mahavakya which we have seen which comes in Chandogya Upanishad, which is Tattvamasi, and that is from Samaved. Then we have one more Mahavakya, which comes in Mandukya Upanishad, which is from Atharva Ved, and that is Ayam Atma Brahma. And then there is one more Mahavakya, which comes in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, which is from Yajurved, and that is Aham Brahmasmi. So these are the four most popular Mahavakyas, which are the essence of the teachings of all the Upanishads, and all the Vedas, and all the Shastras. So Pragnanam Brahma, that Prajna, that Prajnaptihi, that pure knowledge, not the expressions of knowledge, but knowledge per se, like the ink by itself, not ABCD, not the word sentences, but the ink, like light by itself, not light as reflected on the moon or reflected in the world, because when it gets reflected, it takes the shape of that object on which it gets reflected. So it is not pure. It is expressing through that object. But the pure light cannot be even comprehended. So pure knowledge is what is called Pragnanam, which is the nature of that Brahma. That alone expresses as various thoughts and emotions of our antakarana, and expresses as everything in this world. So Pragnanam Brahma is the most beautiful Mahavakya. This Mahavakya is also called Lakshana Vakya. All these Mahavakyas, they have their own characteristics. So this Mahavakya is Lakshana. This Mahavakya, when we hear, it tells us what is that Brahma, what is the nature of that Brahma. That nature of that Brahma is Pragnanam. That Brahma is Pragnanam. Then we keep contemplating, thinking about it, Pragnanam Brahma. Then we approach a teacher to understand that Pragnanam Brahma. Then the teacher tells that you are that Brahma, Tattvamasi. So Tattvamasi is called Upadesha Vakya. It's an instruction given by the teacher to the student. So in Chandogya Upanishad, Shvetaketu got this instruction from his own father as a teacher. Then after knowing Tattvamasi, the teacher says, you are that Brahma. Then we have to contemplate. We have to do research. We have to do that, contemplate and seek that Brahma within. The guidance again is given in the Mahavakya. I am Atma Brahma. This Atma is Brahma. This Atma, this Antaratma, this Pratyagatma, this Kshetrajna is Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. So keep thinking, keep meditating. And then we gain that direct experience of that Brahma. Then that Mahavakya of Yajurved, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it's called Anubhav Vakya. We gain the Anubhav that Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahma. So these four Mahavakyas are also indicated as having different characteristics. So this Pragnanam Brahma is this Mahavakya from this Aitareya Upanishad, and it's very beautiful. So more about this we will see in our class on Wednesday. Till then, you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy, do your work, do your sadhana. Listen to the pravachan again, contemplate, meditate, understand. Okay, and see you again soon. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. Bali Siya Ramchandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.